Fellow farmers, look at this land. It was plowed deeply and left bare. This is called conventional tillage. It exposes the soil to sun, wind, and rain, making it dry and easy to erode. Now look here, this land was not deeply dug. Only small holes were made to plant crops. Crop remains and mulch are left on the soil. This is conservation tillage. It keeps moisture in the ground, reduces erosion, and improves soil health. You save time, fuel, and labor, and your crops grow better. Try conservation tillage on a small portion of your farm this season. You'll see the difference: more yield, less work, and healthier soil. Protect your land, protect your future.
My name is Francisco Arriaga. I'm a soil and water management specialist with the UW Extension and also faculty member in the Department of Soil Science at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And today we're at Arlington, Wisconsin, looking at some beautiful soils. We have had the opportunity to visit the soil pit that it's dug next to some plots of Dr. Joe Lauer. This trial that he has had here has been in place for over 25 years, and it highlights two tillage management systems. The first one we're going to talk about, it's a fall chisel operation followed by a disking operation in the spring. This system has been in place for over 30 years, and we can see here the soil profile. The first thing to note would be the depth of the organic matter layer, the A horizon. I have it that highlighted with these three little dots in here, and we can kind of tell it's about, I don't know, 6 to 7 inches in depth. So it looks pretty good. These soils actually are plain soil series, which are very highly productive soils here in Wisconsin. Over here we try to expose some of the roots on this corn crop to show you how they're being growing. And we can see that for the most part they're growing pretty nicely. We can find some roots all the way to about 3 feet of depth. So overall I'd say it's pretty healthy. Upon closer inspection though, if you start poking around a little bit, you start finding a layer of the soil right about that interface where the tillage would operate. And that layer is a little bit denser. It's not yet a compacted layer. I would not call it a compacted layer, but you can definitely see that there's some densification over here. Now we'll go and talk about the no-till side and look at the soil pit, which has been managed under no-till for 25 years. So we're on the no-till side. Like I said, 25 years of continuous no-till, managed exactly the same way than the conventional tillage that we saw earlier. And one thing we see is that the depth of the organic matter layers, I have it pointed out with this little dot, it's slightly deeper, maybe about an inch or so. So this is probably, I mean, it's closer to the 12-inch mark. So that's one dramatic difference. The other thing is that this soil feels a lot more mellow. So it's when people talk about this soil tilth concept, this is what they're talking about. And we can see again the root system. We try to expose in here. Pretty healthy too. It looks a little bit more developed. You see a few more roots deeper in the soil profile relative to the conventional tillage. So why is this important? So one thing that's happening with the no-till system is that since we're not incorporating any mechanical tillage, those aggregates in the soil surface do not get broken. Anytime you do any tillage, you physically destroy those aggregates in the soil surface. By doing that, you're burning some organic matter, but the other thing is that you're breaking your aggregation. So if you can imagine my hands being an aggregate, they are going to be close together. The space in between them, that's really where we get a lot of the infiltration in the soils. By doing tillage, a lot of times we destroy that interface, those macropores that we talked about. So what's happening in the no-till system is that we get a lot more percolation of water, and the soil is able to recharge a lot better for the crop that we're growing.
Jay Franklin switched to a no-till system 25 years ago.
Well, I was an econ major, not an agronomist, so I didn't know that it wouldn't work, and all I knew is I needed to figure out a way to make a little more money back in the mid-'80s when things were kind of tough. So I switched to no-till pretty much all at once, just an overnight switch.
Mm-hmm. What'd your neighbors say?
They were a little puzzled, and some of them still are a little puzzled. Even after 25 years, I still have friends telling me it just won't work, and it may not, but I haven't seen that it won't yet.
Well, Chad, can you no-till in Northeast Oklahoma?
It's a good question, and one we actually often get. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the biggest challenges in Northeast Oklahoma or Eastern Oklahoma is, of course, the amount of rainfall
right.
that we have annually. and also the transition from a conventional to a no-till system. You know, typically you hear anywhere in popular press 3 to 5 years before you get a good no-till system and before your yields are comparative with conventional till. However, I think a lot of that has to do with management. It takes a while to learn how to manage a no-till system or no-till fields. So I think a lot of that goes into that.
Yeah, because you're going from ripping the ground up every year to letting it kind of settle a little bit.
It is one of the biggest things that we notice that takes a little while to build in no-till is soil structure.
Right.
You know, and that is pretty well documented, 3 to 5 years to get that good soil structure, to increase infiltration, root penetration, and things like that.
Now you say good soil structure. What goes into good soil structure?
Good soil structure would be things things like this. This is actually a clod of soil that we dug up from about 6 to 12 inches in depth, and you can see the amount of pores either from previous crops, say last year's corn crop, that created this channel, root channel or pore. It also could be from worms, earthworms, some other soil macro invertebrates or whatever it may be, some kind of biological activity. So you can see all those pores in there, and of course that helps with the infiltration and root penetration, makes it easier for the roots to grow at greater depths.
And helps the water flow through the ground also.
It does exactly. And you know, with our rainfall patterns, really anywhere in Oklahoma, you know, they're fairly high intensity, and so yeah, anything we can do to increase the amount of macro pores is important.
How long has this land been in no-till?
This field actually has been in no-till approximately 25 years.
25 years.
So probably, no doubt, you know, one of the longest term fields in Oklahoma. You know, not too many producers have been in no-till, you know, greater than 10 or 15 years. So.
Well, that's great. Well, so no-till's not just something for the western part of the state. It can also be done east of I-35.
Yes, you're exactly right. I think there's areas where it may not be well suited. I mean, for really shallow soils or really heavy clay. It is challenging in areas, and it's not a silver bullet for anybody. It does take a new, I guess, different management skills than people are used to with conventional till. So there's definitely new management skills that are involved.
We're standing out here on 2 of their fields where they have been planting cover crops and doing a lot of no-till and strip-till cropping systems.
The worm middlings, these are these little mounds right here. Look at the earthworm holes. These are all earthworm holes here. Look at the amount of hair roots throughout. And when you break it apart, it almost sounds like Velcro. It's got hair roots holding it together. And that's what helps hold the soil when you get those big rains. And then all these holes, of course, is your infiltration.
I want to talk a little bit about the amount of residue that you see on this surface.
I like to leave as much stand up as I can, and then I just plant soybeans either right next to the row or in between the row. And boy, that corn stubble has just been a non-issue because it gets so rotten. Some of it's still standing, the bean head cuts it off, and it actually goes through when we're combining beans. There's just not much left of anything here. The earthworms really
Look at how dry it is. And look at this soil.
Actually, I was off on that. John said 6 something. I had 5.5 up
okay.
there I just broke one open.
6.8 inches of rain here.
Look at that. If you till your ground, I've actually got a shovel full in my pickup. I can show you. We'll take a shovel full down there and show the difference. I just wanted to show the difference between, so that's ground that's, like I said, was no-tilled since 2013, and this is full tillage, but you see the way it comes apart. It doesn't flake apart, it snaps apart. and it's just it's tighter because of the, see, it just, that's the difference you're looking for, is how this just crumbles and this snaps.
It doesn't, yeah.
So it won't, you know, how do you get water through that, see? You can't hardly get it apart, so the water's not going to go through it either. And then you take that and it's just, that's the difference. I'm not trying to, I just want to illustrate the difference. But,
My name is Kelly Atterbury, and I'm a soil scientist with the Natural Resources Conservation Service in Lubbock, Texas. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about how well your soil can absorb moisture. So today we're in a cotton field, in a conventional tilled cotton field north of Lubbock. And what I'd like to do is a simple demonstration to illustrate how quickly water will infiltrate into the soil. We're going to contrast a cultivated field with a no-till field. And this is a very simple demonstration. There are many precise ways to measure infiltration, but this is something anyone can do. We're going to take a 6-inch diameter section of aluminum pipe. I've marked a line 2 inches down. We're going to put this in the ground 4 inches. Then we'll take cellophane to line our pipe. Then I've measured out 1 inch of water at this diameter pipe. It's 450 milliliters or 15 ounces of water. We don't need deionized water or anything special, just water. Okay, then we will start our timer and move the plastic. So now we've just about soaked in all of our free water, and I'm going to call it there at 6 minutes and 10 seconds. One of the things we'd like to see with the soil is holes, pores, cracks, root channels, various things where water can move into the soil easily. Here we see very little of that. Okay, I believe we have soaked in all of our water now at 4.5 minutes. Now let's look and see where the water went. Because of all of this residue and because it has not been plowed, we should see a lot of roots that we didn't see in the other field. Notice how many roots we have. We have a number of these fine roots. The water soaked in farther. Notice it ran down a root pore and it got much wetter, much deeper. This is just a much healthier soil than the other soil. Notice too the darker color. These are both the same soil type. The color difference is attributed to the organic matter. Organic matter is dark. The other soil was depleted of organic matter. This one has a much higher content.